You know, as you watch the Olympics in 2021, it's definitely nothing like the watching Olympics from 1972 to about 1988. The quality of performances are better in 2021, but the charisma of the athletes is not what it was like. Now, I'll give an example. Damian Warner, our Canadian decathlon champion, broke more than 9,000 points. Very nice guy, very clean cut, very handsome, but he doesn't have the charisma of some of the decathletes that came before. Love her or hate her, Bruce Jenner had charisma to burn many of the competitors back in the day. But a guy that basically refined and perfected the marathon as the world's best all-around athlete over a decade was someone that is basically has left such a legacy that if anybody talks about this sport, they have to talk about this person as a comparison. So today we're going to talk about who I consider the greatest athlete in British history, in my personal opinion. I saw him in his prime, Daley Thompson. Now, Daley Thompson is basically a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. For over a decade, he was not say unbeatable, but a money athlete. You take the best of Wayne Gretzky, the best of Derek Jeter, take the best of Kobe Bryant, you take the best of Muhammad Ali, you put it in one athlete. That's Daley Thompson. Now, born Francis Morgan Oyodele Thompson, who received a CBE for his accomplishments. He won the decathlon gold medal at the Olympic Games in 1884, was fourth in the 88 competition, losing bronze to Dave Steen of Canada, and broke the world record for the event 4 times. Now, with 4 world records, 2 Olympic gold medals, 3 Commonwealth titles, and wins in the World and European Championships, again, Thompson considered by many to be the best, if not one of the greatest decathletes of all time. Rayford Johnson is up there too. Robert Chalmers described him as the greatest all-around athlete this country, the UK, has ever produced. Now, born in Notting Hill, London, beautiful community, he was the second son of a British-Nigerian father who ran a minicab firm, and his Scottish mother, Lydia, from Dundee. When Thompson was 6, his father left home. At 7 years old, Lydia sent Thompson to fairly closed boarding school in Bolney, Sussex, where he described it as a place for troubled children. When Thompson was 11 or 12, his father was shot dead in Streatham by the husband of a woman whom the father and a friend had dropped off. Thompson's forename is a contraction of Ayolide, a Yoruba word meaning joy comes home. Thompson's first ambition was to become a professional footballer, but later switched his interests to athletics. Now, 6 feet tall, 203 pounds, and he used his body to his full advantage in the 10 sports that you needed to take part in decathlon. Initially, he was a member of the Hayward's Heath Harriers, but when he returned to London in 1975, he joined the Newham and Essex Beagles Athletics Club, training as a sprinter. He began to be coached by Bob Mortimer, who suggested he try out for the decathlon. He competed his first decathlon later that year in Cimbran, Wales, which he won along with his next competition. In 1976, he won the AAA title and was 18th at the Montreal Olympic Games. The following year, he won the European Junior title, and in 1978 became the first of his 3 Commonwealth titles in Edmonton. In 1979, he failed to finish his only decathlon of that year, but won the long jump at the UK Championships. Now, Thompson opened his 1980 Olympic season with a world record of 8,648 points in Gotz, Austria in May, and followed this with a comfortable win at the Moscow Olympics, because obviously with the what they call the Western country boycott. Now, after a quiet 81 season, he was in devastating form in 82. Back at Gotz in May, he raised his world record to 8,730 points, and then in September at the European Championships in Athens, he took the record up to 8,774 points. The following month in Brisbane, he took his second Commonwealth title. In 83, Thompson won the inaugural World Championships, great event by the way, you should look it up, and became the first decathlete to hold a continental title, in the case the European title, and a World and Olympic title simultaneously. He also became, by virtue of his world title, the first athlete in any athletics event to hold Olympic, World, Continental, and Commonwealth Games titles in a single event simultaneously. And that's saying a lot because, as we know, the Jamaicans, the Canadians, the UK athletes Australians were quite strong in numerous sports. Now, he spent most of the summer of '84 in California prepping for the defense of his Olympic title, with Jürgen Hingsen, the West German who had succeeded Thompson as the world record holder, expected to be a major threat. Now, Jürgen was a tall drink of water, I think 6'6", 6'7", built like a Greek god, and had the personality and attitude that mirrored Thompson's. Now, Thompson eventually took the lead in the first event and was never headed throughout the competition, although it seemed that by easing off to 1,500 meters, he had missed tying the world record by just 1 point. Now, when the photo finish pictures were examined, however, it was found that Thompson should have been credited with 1 more point in the 110-meter hurdles, so he had in fact equaled Hingsen's record. Then when the new scoring tables were introduced, Thompson became the sole record holder once more with a recalculated score of 8,847 points, a world record that stood until '92. Now, under the decathlon rules, the point system would change every once in a while, depending on the world records at the 10 events were or was considered a world best. Now, his record was surpassed in '92 by American athlete Dan O'Brien with a score of 8,891 points. Now, Thompson's 2 victories in the Olympic decathlon are a feat shared only with the Americans Bob Mathias and Ashton Neaton. Thompson's '84 performance, again, is still the UK record. Now, Thompson won his 3rd Commonwealth title in 1986 in Edinburgh, and that year he also got silver at the 4x100 at the Games. But after that, he never quite recaptured the superlative form of his earlier years. In '87, he suffered his first decathlon defeat for 9 years when he finished 9th at the Worlds, and at his 4th Olympics in Seoul in '88, he finished 4th again on the last event behind Dave Steen. He made a Commonwealth Games team for the 4th time in 1990, but was forced to withdraw because of injury. Now, because Thompson's rivalry with West German athlete Jürgen Hingsen was legendary in sport throughout the 1990s, the pair constantly traded world records, but Thompson always had an upper hand in the major events, remaining undefeated in all competitions for 9 years, between '79 and '87. Now, a born celebrity, he was also known for his appearances in commercials for the drink Lucozade in the 1980s. Thompson's name was used for 3 official licensed home computer games by Ocean Software in the 1980s, including Daley Thompson's Decathlon, Daley Thompson Super Tests, and Daley Thompson's Olympic Challenge. He is also a brand ambassador for the travel agency network, Not Just Travel. Now, when he was forced to retire from athletics in '92 due to a persistent hamstring injury, in the 1990s he briefly played reserve team football for Mansfield Town and played one first-team game for non-league side Stevenage FC before having a short spell at non-league side Ilkeston FC. He also worked as a fitness coach for Wimbledon FC and Luton Town football clubs. He also took part in motorsport, entering the Ford Credit Fiesta Challenge Championship in 1994. Now, his work as a fitness trainer and motivational speaker, as well as appearing at corporate events, is well known throughout the world. Now, in 1994, Thompson trained with Reading Football Club and even scored in a friendly against Leatherhead. Now, Thompson was also an ambassador for the London 2012 Summer Olympics, focusing during the bid stage on highlighting the benefits that hosting Olympics would bring to education and sport in schools. He also took part in the 2011 TV series, Jamie's Dream School. Now in 2015, he opened his own gym, Daily Fitness, located on Upper Richmond Road in London. Now in 2018, he joined Master Chef Gary Barnshaw and co-founded DT10 Sports, creating and selling a range of low-sugar protein shakes and sports bars. Now, what we loved about Daley was his charisma, and if you look at the tapes, especially from Moscow, and the Olympics doing the backflip in one of the events, he was a natural showman who endeared himself to the British public with his irreverent personality and anti-establishment attitude. He won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year award in '82 and was appointed an MBE in the '83 New Year's Honors, then promoted to CBE in the 2000 New Year's Honors. Now, at the '94 Los Angeles Olympics, Thompson, who had just won his second Olympic decathlon gold medal, wore a t-shirt that read, "Is the world's second greatest athlete gay?" United States sprinter Carl Lewis had been dealing with rumors of homosexuality, and the shirt was regarded as being cruelly directed at Lewis. The second athlete couldn't be anybody. Carl Lewis, anybody, Thompson stated. Well, do your math for yourself. Now, in 2012, he was accused of anti-Irish sentiment after commenting on live BBC TV that the creator of a misspelled tattoo must have been Irish. The tattoo artist was actually American. In August 2014, Thompson was one of 200 public figures who were signatories to a letter to the Guardian expressing that hope that Scotland would vote to remain part of the United Kingdom in September's referendum on that issue. Now, in 2015, Thompson co-presented the mid-morning show on Talk Sport once a week alongside Colin Murray until Murray quit the station the following year. Now, Thompson has several children, 2 with his girlfriend Lisa and 3 with his ex-wife Tish. So just to recap the big medals, again, internationally, 8 gold, 2 silver, 1 bronze. Olympic Games gold 80 and 84, world title Helsinki, great event, check out the highlights, in 83. Europeans gold in 82, 86 in Stuttgart, 1 silver in Prague in 86 in the decathlon, and then 1 bronze in a 4x100 for England in that event. Now, Commonwealth Games, again, gold in 78, 82, and 86, and silver in the 86 4x100. So he was part of that English, what they call golden era of Alan Wells and all that. But, you know, I give an example. Damian Warner is very strong in the 100. I think it was 10.12. He could probably race in the 4x100 for Canada, but a lot of it would cross over. But Daley Thompson, again, I saw him in his prime, and everything he did, it was like, not say nonchalant, but it seemed to come off as easy. Most of the great athletes of all time don't take themselves too seriously. But at one point, ladies and gentlemen, again, one of the most popular athletes of all time. And the 3 things that England had going for them in the 1980s was Charles and Diana and Daley Thompson. And you had to see it to believe it. Because Britain was kind of not the strength of athletics you should have been in 76 with Seb Coe and Ovett and Daley Thompson and Alan Wells. Boys, oh boys, the 80 Moscow Olympics drew a lot of pride in England. Like we're seeing in Canada, the Olympics in the last 20 years, especially at the Summer Games. You know, to see Canada with almost 20 medals at the Olympics, we're not done yet. I've seen Olympics for Canada, Summer Olympics with only 5 medals, 2 medals, 1 medal. You know, just terrible results. But you look at Damian Warner, and the decathletes in Canada owe a lot to Daley Thompson because Michael Smith as well, Steen, that is the Commonwealth style. And the Commonwealth Games is a good development program for all the, again, the Australians, New Zealand, Canada, what I call the double A championships. The Americans are always going to be, you know, triple A in regarding the funding and training. But the Commonwealth system that Daley Thompson was a part of, and Michael Smith. And you see, Canada also has the Pan Am Games is very important. But at the decathlon, I want you to put this in perspective. If each event takes an hour, you're doing 10 hours of events over 2 days. Like an hour preparation, you're doing the high jump, you're doing the long jump, you're doing the pole vault, you're doing the sprints, you're doing the hurdles, you're doing the long distance, and ends with the 1500. You see at the end like how consuming it is. But Daley Thompson, who would have been injured, and he obviously would have won in 88, but you know, injuries catch up on him. And like his weight would fluctuate as well. I would see certain events and it was like, okay, they say 203 pounds, but maybe he's a little bit over that. But like I said, at his peak, again, one of the most charismatic and important athletes ever that the track and field has ever seen. Now, I think I'm very fortunate. I've seen Bruce Jenner, I've seen Daley Thompson, Jurgen, I've seen the 2 Dans, I've seen Ashton Eaton, I've seen Michael Smith. I've covered a lot of them. I covered a little bit of Daley Thompson because when he retired, I was kind of starting as sports editor. Boys, what a pleasure to cover people like that. But Daley Thompson for me is number 1. No disrespect to Bob Mathias and Rayford Johnson, but that level of excellence in the winning European, Worlds, all these major events. And, you know, he was effortless, really, if you look at it. And I don't think the coaches had that much of a... He was his own coach, if that makes any sense. When I saw Daley Thompson put something in his mind, because there was I think there was an event in Moscow where he was at like 780 points. He kind of looked at himself and said, okay, I got to get like 860 or 870. And that's what he did. Just tremendous. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a legend of the legendary Daley Thompson. If you like what we're doing here with our Olympic profiles, and we're going to take, obviously, a break very soon. The Olympics are done. We hope you enjoyed them. Let me know with a like, comment, and subscribe. What do you think about Daley and our Canadian champ and Ashton Eaton, all the great decathletes? Who would remind us the greatest decathlete of all time? I'd like to know. Have a good day. Bye.